Hello there, Brian King here. I posted something on Facebook this morning that I really want to expand on. What I posted is in response to the statement that many of us make and many of us also hear. The statement that, well, that's how I was raised. People doing things almost without thought. It's just kind of programmed into them and they just blurt it out and they use it in order to excuse themselves from questioning why they did it, why they carry it on, and also to excuse themselves from the repercussions of what they chose to do. In other words, it absolves them of responsibility. Hey, Alyssa, thanks for tuning in. I see some other people that are joining in. Please say hi, give me a like, give me some hearts, let me know that you're here. Let me know who's here, because then I can focus what it is I want to talk about in service of those who have given me the luxury of their time. So, in response to that statement, that's how I was raised. That's how I was raised. It didn't kill me. Really? Is that your criteria? You didn't die from it, therefore it's okay to carry on. One of the things that, a conversation I had with my kids quite recently, we were going through our stuff to see what we wanted to get rid of, what we wanted to donate, what we wanted to keep. And there was a book that I got from my father. My father has a black belt in judo. He taught in the military. And when he studied karate for a while, he got this old karate book that has this very unique cover. I want to see if I can, it's not within arm's reach. But it was very special because I ended up studying martial arts partially because of my dad. And I consider that book an heirloom. And I had to explain to my boys, what's an heirloom? It's something that has a lot of sentimental value to the family that's passed from one generation to the other. Well, what about the crap they did when they were parenting us? Those can be unfortunate heirlooms too. Some ideas, some behaviors, those phrases that jump out of our mouth. And you say, oh my God, I just sounded like my mother. Oh, I just sounded like my dad. I realized I was just like my dad, who was very short on patience when we were growing up. There was one statement he made one day, because my brothers and I were just not getting around to picking up our stuff, which was all over the floor. And my dad said, if this doesn't get picked up right now, it's going in the yard. Oh, we didn't take him seriously. Then there was one day, we just saw him come and grab a coat or something that was on the floor. He walked over to the front door, swung it open, and flung that thing out of the yard. I can't remember the last time my brothers and I moved that fast. But yeah, we got up and started picking things up because he used this grand gesture to show us that he was serious. So I remember one day where I got frustrated with my boys for the same reason, and the same statement flew out of my mouth. And because I'm naturally reflective, I question why I do what I do. So when that statement flew out of my mouth, I stopped for a moment and said, wait a minute, why did I choose that? Is that something that I'm really going to do? Why did that come out of me? And what I eventually concluded was that I used that phrase because my mind associated it with frustration. I was frustrated that I wasn't being responded to, and that's just the language that came out. So that could be part of the reason why we hang on to this stuff, a simple neuroassociation. When somebody yelled at you as a kid, you heard yelling all the time, and certain phrases were attached to that yelling. So it kind of got hardwired into you that when you're angry, this is what you say, this is what comes out of your mouth. But if you don't follow through with it, you lose credibility. You follow me? Then your kids just begin to see you as a yeller. You're just yelling at them. Mom doesn't mean it. Mom says that all the time. Or Dad's just talking trash again. He's upset. He had a bad day. So we then give our kids permission to dismiss us because we say a lot of stuff. We don't follow through with it. We say a lot of stuff. Why do we say it? Because it's a family heirloom. We decided to keep it, hang on to it, pass it on to the next generation. Give me a break. Yeah, Richard, that's a good term. Environmental resonance. Sounds a little intellectual. I'll have to explore that a little bit. So why do I bring this up? I bring this up because in many cases, a lot of our parenting is based on inherited or adopted patterns. You know, the stuff that we saw all the time that we never questioned. We thought, all right, this is the parenting playbook. This is what my parents did to me. I don't know what the hell I'm doing. And I don't want to ask questions because other people might get the sense that I don't know what I'm doing. So I'm going to repeat the old crap that, well, I practically, I really didn't enjoy. And I pretty much just thumb my nose at it, but it's what I know. And it might give me the guise of knowing what I'm doing. So I'll just take this crap that I adopted and just use it on my own kids. And then I will hide behind the all-purpose excuse, that's how I was raised. Seriously? That is one of the things that keeps pain moving forward in our lives, that keeps habits such as making excuses, telling little white lies, and all those wonderful habits that we know are lousy, that suck, but we do it anyway. Because our egos, or so we decide, require defending. We don't want people to know that we're nervous, that our confidence is a little bit lower, we're unsure of ourselves. Because as dads, if we share that with somebody else, it means we're weak. Remember that BS? You're weak if you don't know something. You're weak if you're not in charge. Let me ask you this question. Says who? Who the hell decided that needing help equals weakness? Maybe the same parent that yelled at you all the time and taught you all that BS that you now practice? Someone else who pretended to know everything? Wasn't teachable? Claimed to know it all? Used phrases like, well, it's because I'm your dad. You have to listen to me because I'm in charge. I'm the parent. Really? Is that how it works? What if dad is the most ignorant one in the house? And they're out there. Okay? Then it's up to you as an adult when you look back to say, dad didn't know any better, but he was afraid to know better. So he just kept doing the same old stuff. My parents weren't perfect. No parents are, except in sitcoms where everything is predicted and written and so on. But I can look at their imperfections and say, you know what? I'm imperfect too, but I don't want to pretend I'm not. I don't want to live that lie that everybody else has it figured out and I'm the only human being on the planet that doesn't know something. No, I'm going to ask questions because I want to have the best results for myself and my kids. See, it's the results that matter, not my ego. It's not about me. It's about the legacy I leave for my kids. It's about their inheritance. What kind of heirlooms am I passing on to them? Am I passing on ingredients for self-doubt, for impatience, for excuses? Am I going to pile on all that crap so that when they move forward, they have everything they need to fake it, everything they need to blame the past, just like I was doing? Or are they going to have everything they need to teach them to question what I modeled for them, to see if they like the results that I got and want those results for themselves? And if they don't want those results, then they are equipped to ask questions of people that have the results they want. See, parenting is teaching your kids curiosity. It's going through that journey of becoming with them. I talked about this a little bit in a video earlier in the week. As they walk their path, they live their life, you're discovering things together. And just when you think you got a good handle on things, something else happens. Puberty, the first dance invitation. Hey, this girl likes me. My 11-year-old got asked out on a date. He's a sixth grader. The date pretty much amounted to, let's sit next to each other in the cafeteria and have lunch. But things like that require you, again, to ask yourself the question, do I have tools for this? Or do I just pretend I have tools for this and make some stuff up to pretend I've got it all figured out? How often does that BS story happen between your ears? Far too often. The know-it-all mindset teaches your kids that it's dangerous to be curious, that you're supposed to be the smartest kid in the room. There are just so many problems that are caused by inheriting heirlooms from your past that teach you to limit the options you make available for yourself to grow as a human being. That's what those bad heirlooms do to you. So please, do not indulge in the "that's how I was raised." Even if it's something that's good. You know, like a recipe or something. "Oh, I ate this growing up. This is how my mother made it." Great. If it's helpful, if it helps the family feel more connected and more supportive of each other, helps you remember your heritage, great, do it. But you still question it. Say, do I do this because I feel an obligation to do it, or do I do it because I like the results I get? You know, I was raised on Romanian cooking. My mom's full-blooded Romanian, so are her parents. And some of the food is just incredible. I've never had anything like it. I don't know how to prepare it. My brother does. But I eat it because I love it. It tastes great. And it's also connected to memories of going to my grandparents' house on Christmas and Easter. It brings back a lot of positive memories. So that's why I continue it. Not because I feel like I'm a failure to my family culture if I don't keep paying that forward. See the difference? So that's just some food for thought. I've been talking for a while here. Give me some feedback. Let me know if this is resonating with you. You know, Richard, Amy, Marianne, Juliana, what do you think about this? Is this anything you've heard from people? Is this something you've said yourself? And more importantly, is this helpful? Hey, Sheena, I hope you're feeling better. Sheena just joined us. She had some surgery yesterday. Sheena, I hope everything went smoothly and that you're up and about and loving life again. So I want to ask you just to think about this. In fact, as soon as I'm done, I'm going to share this video in a Facebook group that I run now. Thank you, Lenny. And the Facebook group is called Zen Inspired Fatherhood, which is about supporting people in, especially fathers, of course, in living in the moment, being very connected, very present with their kids, and more importantly, being present with themselves and asking themselves, why do I think like this? Why am I, of all the things I could be doing, why am I doing this? My dad did it and I hated it. Why am I continuing to do this stuff? Being present with yourself, what motivates you? Is it about you or is it about your child? All these very important questions that we as parents need to ask ourselves. Otherwise, we are simply parenting according to some hamster wheel, subconscious collection of patterns that we learned early on, never questioned, and pay forward, and then wonder what the hell happened. Okay? Our kids deserve better, and so do we. So, in terms of the group, even though you may not be a father, chances are you have one, and you may want to have some kind of a conversation around that. Drew said, it's something I've heard a lot from friends who are parents, trying not to do as their parents did before. Great. If they're aware of that, is fantastic. And I hope that they take the time to ask themselves, who can I look to? Who's getting the results that I want? How do I learn from them? Have they written a book? Do they have a blog? Can I take them out for coffee and just ask them for some suggestions? Leslie, I found that though I tried hard not to make the same mistakes as my parents, I made my own and still got a horrible outcome. Well, this is my opinion. And just my opinion, take it for what it's worth. It's never too late to ask for forgiveness. My father had a very rough childhood. He verbally abused me and my siblings. And over the years, as surprise, surprise, he watched me parent and got a sense of everything I was doing differently from him. I saw him beginning to be more engaged with my boys and being a better parent to them than he ever was to me. And I was hurt by that for a while until I realized what was happening. And although I never had to say to my dad, I forgive you, I'm now beginning to treat him more like an equal, more as a friend, making myself available to him, letting him know that he's got my support. Because I decided for myself that I don't need his apology in order to decide that my feelings are valid, that I can just forgive him and say, you didn't know, you didn't question, you didn't change, but I did. And I'm doing different to do right by my kids. And you don't have to wait until your deathbed to say, oh, I'm sorry for all the shit I did. Do it now. Forgive yourself. Like when you made that statement, Leslie, I still had a horrible outcome. Forgive yourself. I'm not saying that you just sit there and say, oh, I forgive me. It may be a bigger process for you. Because I really don't know about your life, and I don't want to pretend that it's just this easy peasy declaration that you make. It can be a process to really get in touch with that and sincerely forgive yourself. And then decide where you want to go from there. What do you want to start doing differently on the other side of that forgiveness? Because I honestly, I don't quit. I always have hope that things can improve, because in my life, those who know me well know the kind of shit that I've been through and am going through now, and I can heal from that and eventually see it as a gift and move forward. There's always room for things to be repaired and improved upon. Lenny, awareness of what is working is a great tool to have. Absolutely. And always asking yourself that too. What's working? What's not working yet? If it's not working yet, why not? Is there some knowledge that I need? Are there some resources that I need to acquire? Are there people that I need help from that I need to reach out to? Julietta, the one thing I have learned is to listen to my boys' side and defense for whatever they are being accused of. Most of the time, they're innocent because they're only defending themselves. In other words, you want to understand their thinking. And when we're dealing with kids here, or any other human being for that matter, it makes sense in their head, right? They're following some kind of logic. And if you understand their point of view, you can get a sense, in many cases, that they're very well intended. It's just that their thinking is limited in terms of what they consider doing before they actually did it. And one of the things we can do as parents is help kids explore other ways of thinking, open their mind a little bit. But that's a longer conversation. That's something that I help the parents that I coach. I help them figure out that stuff all the time. How to find those little openings in their kids' thinking so that they can inject just the right question to encourage their kids to go, oh, that makes sense. That's right. Because you and I both know, kids don't respond to lecture. They respond to curiosity, to those aha moments. So I teach parents how to create those situations with their kids. Because if they're just going to say, you know what I would do if I was you? You know what you should be thinking about this, son, and then pouring out all that teaching and lecture that your kid never asked for. I don't know what the heck my dogs are barking at, but I probably should go check on them before they scare away some poor little rabbit. So think about this, please. Consider this. And ask yourself who you know that could really benefit from this conversation or from this video. And please come and join me over in the Zen Inspired Fatherhood group. I'll even put the link in the header when I'm done recording here. And if there's any way I can give you support in making this shift, feel free to reach out to me. Send me a private message. I'm here to help. Thank you all very much for watching. I really appreciate it. And I'll be back soon.